Welcome back to Poke Nation. Joining us now is Cowgirls standout volleyball player Bailey Tillman. Bailey, thank you for joining us today. First off, you're reigning Southland Conference Defensive Player of the Week. You had an outstanding week last week for the Cowgirls, and the week before as well. Going through and you're in conference play now. Tied for first place in the loss column. You got a big stretch coming up that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But first, for people that maybe don't know too much about volleyball, like the specifics and the rules and everything like that, you only see it on TV or in person, kind of talk to us about the art of digging. What does it take? What do you look for? What do you focus on to get that dig out?
So in defense, I think we talked about this earlier, defense is a mind game. I think, yes, you have to have a physical ability, but the mental aspect of it is really hard as well. Just reading where the hitter's arm is going, looking at where the block is, everything, and then making that move. Reaction time is very important in digging. But I told him earlier, I'm going to do anything to get the ball up, regardless if my body's in the bleachers or if I'm running into a wall, I'm going to get the ball up. So I love defense.
Now, how long have you always been a defensive player, and when did you start playing volleyball?
Yes, so I've been playing volleyball. This is 12, going on 13 years. So I started whenever I was 8 years old, and I've always been a defender because I've always been short. So that's always been my go-to position.
Okay. You got your 1,000th career dig.
Yes.
That's quite an achievement. But you're diving all over the place. Going to the crowd, getting hurt, kind of a football mentality. Does that come from your father, Spencer Tillman?
Oh, of course. He always tells me, you're my little running back. And I'm like, oh, okay. But yes, I think just the perseverance and like the ability to just want the ball it comes within, and it's in my DNA. Obviously, my dad was like that. He played through injuries all the time, so I think that I'm going to do anything to get that ball up.
But you are, when you're diving around, you're trying to save as many points as you can, but get the ball back so you guys get points. How important is it when you do that to kind of get the crowd going too? Because when you're diving into the crowd, the energy kind of comes up. Do you feel like you're a part of that and you kind of drive the energy?
Yes, I think that defense, I'm a firm believer of defense wins games. So whenever we do make those plays, or I make those plays, and the crowd is like, oh, and they're cheering and everything, it just makes me more motivated to make even more plays. Because at the end of the day, I want to do anything to put myself in a good position and also my teammates in a good position to score the point.
Now, people have seen a lot of you lately because you want to be a TV person, like you've kind of got father's footsteps. The Southland Conference has taken advantage of that and put you in a lot of positions.
Yes.
What do you think about TV? Because you did some TV media for the Southland Conference Football Media Day. What do you think about a TV career?
I think TV career would be awesome. I mean, my major is mass communication with a concentration in sports entertainment. So I think that the TV world and just that side of it is so interesting. And there's just so much more I'm eager to learn. I'm learning about it now, but obviously there's more that I want to learn. So.
Talking about your dad a little bit, I know you probably hear about it all the time. I know your dad's Spencer. He's got a tremendously busy schedule right now as well because of calling football games nationally on TV. How often do you hear from him, and does he ever get to see you play in person?
Yeah, so I try to talk to him at least every day on the phone, whether that's him going on the plane, like on the way to a game. He called me last week when he was on the way to the USC and Stanford football game, and he just gave me some little tokens of advice and just encouragement because I had a game that day. I think he's actually going to try to come next week whenever we recognize my 1,000th dig, so
great.
Maybe that would be something that I'll be able to see him, and I'm looking forward to it. So.
Great.
Did you get a shovel with that day?
Oh, a shovel? I should. I should
That's
get
not
a
a bad
shovel.
idea.
Does he critique your TV? Did he critique your TV?
Yes, when we did the football media day, actually, he was like, "You did great, Bailey," and I was like, "Thanks, I get it. I wonder who I get it from." So yeah.
You're in a different role this year on this team because in the past you've kind of grown with this team and seen kind of the evolution of McNeese volleyball. Now you're one of the leaders. You're one of the captains of the team. Talk about that role and how it's changed this year for you.
I think so. Last year I wasn't a captain, but I was still one of those people that was on the court majority of the time. This year I am a captain, so I have been stepping into bigger shoes and filling that role. I think that it's more important than ever because we do have such a young team, and they're constantly looking for people to look up to, not only on the court but off the court as well too. So I think that me and the other two captains, Nate and Kendall, have just done a great job of leading those younger people into the right direction.
Now, you have a big stretch coming up here in the next couple of weeks where 3 of your next 4 opponents are right there tied with you with 1 loss in the standings. How, like, for this week, you have Lamar coming up on Thursday, who has yet to win a match all season. But then you go to Southeastern, who is in first place with you. How big is it as a leader to make sure that the team's not looking ahead to Southeastern and focus on Lamar right now?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is just focusing what's in front of us and then worrying about like the wins later. Obviously, Southeastern's going to be a tough game. Lamar is going to be a tough game. I think that we just can't take any team lightly. So I think just going in with lots of confidence and then just staying true to who we are.
You guys this year not sneaking up on anybody like last year, when you kind of surprised some people made a run. What's the difference about being kind of the hunted this year compared to doing the hunting?
I think it's just more pressure applied. I think that it's actually better for us because now we're kind of like the underdogs. People don't think that McNeese is going to make it. We got ranked 4th in the preseason poll, so I think it's just we're hungry for more. We want to do better, and that's every day, whether that's from practice, study hall, everything. We're going to do everything to the best of its ability. So.
We'll come back on Poke Nation. We'll have more with Bailey Tillman after this.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Tell me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast or traffic slow. The feeling is so fine, I gotta say. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I roam. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go. Go. Everywhere I go.
Hey, she's on her way up.
Hey, G, I got you something.
Hey, Coach. What do you think? Is this too much?
If you look good, you play good.
All right, then. Let's get it done.
At Lakeside Bank, we specialize in stress-free banking services. Now you can stress less with our Great Escape Spa giveaway. One winner a month can unwind with a relaxing spa package from Scarborough's Salon and Day Spa. Then, in December, we'll give away a luxurious relaxation trip for 2 to Miraval Resort in Arizona. Now that's stress-free. Register today at any Lakeside banking location. Stress less at Lakeside Bank.
Welcome back to Poke Nation. It is an honor to have Mr. Shahada Wells. What's up, my man?
Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, it is so good. The man, the myth, the legend. This is all, seriously, thank you so much for being here. I know you're a busy guy. All right, let's get right to it. We're playing pretty well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're playing pretty well too. Talk about the team. Where do you think the team is today, and where do you see yourself, and what are the areas of improvement that I know Coach and the coaching staff's working on?
The team, we're just, as of now, we're connected. We have a few things to fix on defense, but offensively and just team-wise, I feel like we're connected. We enjoy each other. We all like each other. We like coaches. We understand what they're saying, and we're just trying to take the practice plan to the game.
Mm-hmm. How did all that happen, though, right? Like, I mean, I coached for 26 years, and the locker room is something that's really can be fragile at times, right? Like, and it's so like, what are the things that you guys do to have that bond?
Just spending each and every day with each other. Coach, he allows us to be together all the time. He wants us here. He wants us outside of here, just being together. Just if we go somewhere, make sure you take a teammate or take the team with you. So just having that connective aspect of things and being together just help bring us together real quick.
That's awesome.
What makes this team so special? Because one of the things I've noticed is You guys all came together late, and we talk about the chemistry and that, but on the court, you only have 4 turnovers the other night. That's unthinkable for a team that's been together for years, let alone for a couple months. What makes that go, and what makes your offense go?
Just knowing each other, knowing our limits, knowing what we could do. Just making the right reads. We know what everybody's gonna do, where to be, where this person's gonna be, and just making the right reads, like I said.
Last week when I talked to you, you said one of the reasons why you came here is because you thought you could kind of expand your game, especially scoring-wise and that. But you've also had games where you haven't scored. When do you decide you need to score and not to?
I just feel it comes to me. I don't really just go out and be like, I'm gonna score 30 or do this. The game just comes as it goes on. So the team trusts me, I trust them. So who's ever on that night, that's who we're gonna get the ball to.
The other night, I wanted to point this out. You had 26 points. 15 of them came in the last 14 minutes. But also during that time, you had 4 assists and 4 rebounds, kind of taking over the game. Did you feel like you have to take over the game sometimes?
Sometimes I do. Just give me the ball. Everybody else just get out the way. They know what I'm going to do.
See, Coach, if you had somebody like that, you might still be coaching.
Very good point. Shahada, let me ask you this. So, like, obviously, Pope Nation is really excited about you, excited about this team. Let's talk about your journey. Tell them, like, where you're from. You transferred from TCU, but you obviously have a very interesting journey to being here. So tell Pope Nation a little bit of where you're from and how you got here, et cetera.
Yes, sir. So I'm from Amarillo, Texas. I graduated from Tascosa High School, which I played 4 years. Coming out of high school, I had 0 offers. I was actually, in the summertime, I signed to UIW. And
how about that?
The day that I signed, their coach got fired, so I decommitted, and I had no offers. And I knew somebody that knew somebody from Tyler Junior College, and I just went there not knowing what to expect and played 2 years there, transferred to UTA, had a good season, transferred to TCU, got hurt my first year, and then the second year I was playing a little bit on and off, and then Coach Wade called me, and it was wraps from there.
So obviously, Coach has a great reputation, and the thing that I always loved, because I've known Coach for over a decade, is he's a player's coach, but like he's very hard on you guys. He's very disciplined, but he also kind of lets you be you.
Yes,
you know? What was it about Coach that made you decide to come to McNeese?
Just like I said before, just him having a relationship with me, just him calling me every day. It wasn't like like the assistant coach called me. He called me every day. He told me what he wanted. He told me what he needed, and I told him what I wanted and needed. So just that relationship with him drew me closer to McNeese.
Yeah.
We hear a lot of weird stories about the transfer portal, but you seem to be successful. You had to get in the portal to get your opportunity. What does it mean for kids that, like you, that are kind of playing in certain ways but want to play different ways to get these opportunities, and what does the portal do for you?
I feel like the transfer portal is really a helpful thing to kids these days. Basically, you might not have been in the right situation at your past school, but this new school, it might be the best situation for you.
Is there, obviously you've seen some troubles with it, but have you ever really seen a situation where so many kids came together at one time at one school like this?
This is the first year, honestly, so it amazed me what we did, what we're doing, and how many kids came over for Coach Wade and just this program.
You guys share stories about the portal and your journey here?
Sometimes, not really.
When it comes down to it, how good of a basketball team are you guys?
We're real good. I feel like we're gonna make a run in this tournament, and we're gonna try to take it all the way, just as far as it takes us.
When we come back, we're gonna find out how far that is with Shahada Wells and McNeese State after this on Pope Nation.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Tell me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast or traffic slow. The feeling is so fine, I gotta say. You're everywhere, got you everywhere.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier, Greg Brooks,
Kyron Lees. Whether on the field, in the community, or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference. Bet. Let's get it done.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. Coach Wade, welcome, my friend.
Good to see you again.
Well, here we go.
Free Willie.
So, Wednesday night, first game back. Before we get to that, talk about your staff. I think they've done a great job. Obviously, we've had a lot of conversations. We're 8-2 coming into to when you get back on the sidelines. Talk about what you think of your staff and how hard was those 10 games for everyone involved?
The staff's done a phenomenal job. I mean, Chambers and Vernon did just tremendous in terms of, they managed the game. They were calm during the games. They allowed us to weather some runs. They did a great job in preparation with the team. It went better than I could have expected. I think we've talked about that. It was better than we could have hoped for. And so, it's a credit to them. It's, we've got veteran guys too. We've got guys, like Shahada and some of those other guys who have been through it and understand what it takes to win. And they were going to listen to Vernon. They were going to listen to Brandon. And it's just one of those things where it all kind of came together and worked, and so I'm really really proud of them and proud of the team. And now all I can do is mess it up since we're 8-2. So, but they've done just a phenomenal job.
And obviously you had no communication with the staff for 24 hours, right? At midnight the night before the game to midnight after the game, and what you said, like the staff and the players collectively just did an unbelievable job.
It was really tough on the two. We had 2 48 hours when we had the back-to-back home games, and we had the back-to-back games at Louisiana Tech. I mean, I had no contact for 48 hours during those. That Louisiana Tech was brutal with the Texas State because it was on the stats.
Oh, yeah.
And then
you couldn't watch it.
Oh, you couldn't watch it. So when you can't watch it and you're looking at the stats, there's like a lag. It'll say at the top, it's like 8:15 left, and the last thing you've got's at 8:30. So in 15 seconds something's happened, but you have no idea what's happened. So it's like you're like refreshing. That's brutal to follow and watch like that. But just not having any contact, and we took that very, very seriously, and I was probably over and above, leaving the city, leaving the town where the game was, to making sure that we weren't there, and there was zero contact had. But that was tough, and I'd get reports the next day, and they'd be like, "Well, we needed you to do this, we need you to do that, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll get that fixed a little bit later on." Right. But like I said, overall they did a phenomenal job, and it was a tough time, and it's like having substitute teachers. I was in and out, they were in and out. I mean, it's very, 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 very challenging, and we talked about that this week. I think the team, I gave Vernon and Chambers each a ball for their first win, commemorating their first win. And
that's awesome.
We had the team sign a picture of them hugging after we beat UAB, and so we did all that. I gave Shoemate a ball for his 1,000th point too. But I thank the team. I thank those guys in front of everybody. And
it's great.
It was a fun first month, and so hopefully we can have a fun next couple months as well.
No doubt.
How much did it mean for the team you said the veteran guys kind of took it over a little bit and really helped. How much does that bring the team together as you move forward, that they know that they can go through this type of adversity?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it helps us moving forward, that we've been through some adversity, we've been through some tough times. But all these kids, like we said, I mean, you knew what you were signing up for. We told you I wasn't. We were very honest with everybody in recruiting. Hey, I'm going to be gone, some games, and that we're going to work with Vernon and work with Chambers. They were a huge part of the recruiting process on all these guys, meeting them and getting to know them. And hey, you're gonna play some games for these guys. And so that was really, really important that our guys knew that. But you never know how you're going to handle all that, until it happens. You have plans in place. You work hard. We've got leadership meetings. We've got leadership. I mean, we do a lot of stuff to try to stay in front of things and make sure that we can have success when things are a little bit tougher. But you never know how it's going to go until the ship starts rocking. You never know if you can bring it to shore all right. So. To be able to see that, I do think we have some positive experiences we can draw on as the season moves forward.
8-2 surprised you at all, or what surprised you about watching it?
Well, I thought we maybe won a game or two we probably shouldn't have, and probably lost a game or two we maybe should have. I'm not surprised necessarily at the 8-2, but maybe the games that we won versus some of the games that we lost, were a little bit surprising, but. Very, very pleased with where we are. It's one of the best starts in school history, and we just want to continue to add to it as we move forward here.
And the Tech game is really strange to me because you could set up how you were going to play Tech, but they were a completely different team when they got their center back. So how do you adjust to that? Is that kind of like, do you think that's going to be on the fly a lot this year?
Could be, and I didn't get to do any of the preparation for Tech because we'd put everything into Texas State, so I was kind of out of the way for the Tech, and so. Bacho was a game changer for them, and I think there'll be some teams adding pieces throughout the year. Hopefully, we can add a piece or two throughout the year, and I think that'll be an adjustment most people have to make.
That's kind of what this. I mean, we learned a little bit in COVID that you'd be different teams every week almost. We could see that because of this whole guys getting eligible thing.
Absolutely, I think that's something that you can see throughout the course of the season.
When we come back with Coach Wade, we're going to find out what his thoughts are on coming back and what he missed about the last year and a half. After this on Poke Nation.
Hey, she's on her way up.
Hey, G, I got you something.
Hey, Coach. What do you think? Is this too much?
If you look good, you play good.
All right, then. Let's get it done.
Welcome back to Poke Nation. It is a pleasure to have Miss Dana Dunbar.
Thanks for
Welcome
having
to
me.
Poke Nation. So, you broke away from the compliance department for a little bit, okay? Joined Poke Nation. You have my, the great Gazzola the Great to your right.
She got out in the real public.
Out of the
Out
office.
from behind the computer and figuring out who can and cannot play.
Oh, boy. Well, honestly, Dana, thank you for being here. You've been a huge asset to this department since you've been hired. But let's talk about the journey, right? So tell Poke Nation where you're from, you played here, et cetera, et cetera. Talk about, give your story a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm originally from Shahada, Nebraska. From there, I went on to play college softball at Des Moines Area Community College. We finished third in the nation at JUCO. That was a pretty cool experience.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I transferred to Northwest Missouri State, a D2 in Missouri. Then I was able to graduate early, and with my undergrad in business management, I saw the director of softball operations come open as a GA position, and I always knew I wanted to be in college athletics, but I never wanted to coach. Coaching was never for me. My cousin, Stacy Martin, who's the senior associate commissioner of the American Athletic Conference, I've watched her work her way up, so I thought the softball gig was the perfect spot for me. Coach Landreneau saw something in me, called me, and 2 weeks later, I was down here, moved to Louisiana, spent 2 seasons with the softball team as their director of ops, managing budgeting, game contracts, travel logistics, everything but the coaching part.
Right.
But that was coming to an end since it was only a graduate assistant position. And I went to Todd Butler and I told him I'm very interested in sticking around some more. I like McNeese, I like the coaches, the admin. And he's like, well, if you have a position open, I'll keep you in mind. And this position came open, and I'm grateful that you kept me on, and I like McNeese.
Well,
happy to be here.
You're doing an unbelievable job. Talk about the difference between Nebraska and Lake Charles, Louisiana.
The food. You guys season stuff. Like I'm telling people. So it was funny on my interview when I came down. It was crawfish opening season. I've never had crawfish in my life. The waitress is going around asking 3 or 5. So I'm thinking it's 3 crawfish or 5 crawfish.
Right.
So she brings them out, and they're by the pounds on those big trays. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So they're teaching me how to crack them open on the interview, and I was like, I don't know how to peel crawfish. I'm not getting a job. But it all worked out. Now I like crawfish. I've ate passalaya, jambalaya, all of it now.
So that's the McNeese interview process.
Take 'em-
crawfish.
Take 'em to crawfish.
Take him a crawfish.
That's awesome.
So the interesting thing about that, now you have an interesting job to me because, especially with the transfer portal, you have a job where you basically say people you can't play. You're trying to figure out how many, but you also have to figure out how many years they still have left. We get this question a lot. Somebody will be listed like a Ryan Roberts, a redshirt sophomore, yet he's graduating. How often is that? Because you're dealing basically with years of eligibility, not school years. How difficult is that to keep them apart?
So keeping them apart, again, like you're going to their websites, making sure they played here. But also it ties into school too. Like you have to have every year, like when you're a sophomore, you have to have 48 credits to be able to transfer in, or you have to go to summer school before you can play. So we communicate a lot with our academics, looking at theirs, looking at their schedule. But with that transfer portal too, they may be transferring in and they're losing credits. So you're trying to pick them up, trying to see what major. They may want to do business management, but we have to put them in general studies for a few years because they can't.
They're not ready yet. Yeah, that's the thing is a lot of people don't understand is when every time somebody transfers, we see kids coming 3, 4 different schools, you're losing credits. How much do they have to play catch up, and how much do you have to be sure to say you're not ready to play here? How many times do you tell kids you can't come here?
So we don't really tell them from the academic side they can't come here, but we lay it out like you were expected to graduate this year at your old school. You're going to have 2 years left when you come here because you're going to lose this amount of credits. Just so trying to explain that process to them. They still have all their, it's hard. Like,
yeah, and I think too, and kind of talk about this, Dana, like obviously in today's world, in the transfer portal age, you know, kids are jumping all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So, which is hard to manage from a graduation standpoint because every time you transfer, you lose credits, right?
Yeah.
Like McNeese isn't going to accept the same credits that, you know, I don't know, Lamar, whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like everyone's degree plan is a little bit different. Talk about like how different that is in that communication.
so yeah, along that communication, again, like our JUCO kids, they're enrolled in, say you're in baseball and weightlifting. Well, those don't roll over. Those aren't accredited programs. So you lose those credits.
That's right.
And trying to explain them, you need this amount of core English, you need this amount of core math, core social studies, like all that. You can do all these extras, but it's not going to roll over when you come here.
And that's the thing is also you have kids that go 4-year school, junior college, then to McNeese.
For sure.
How does that pick up? Because now you're talking about 2 different schools on 2 different levels, or even when they come from NAIA.
Yeah, so I've been looking at some transcripts right now. We have some of those 4-2-4 transfers. So you're picking up, making sure, because I may be wrong, I got to look back on it, but you have to have 60 credits if you're coming in as a junior.
Yeah.
That's right.
To transfer over. And again, if you're not at that amount, then we're recommending next semester you take this at your JUCO or wherever you're at, or enroll in summer classes so that you can get back on track. But then it's again, we may not pay for those to get you. Like it's all falls into that as well.
When we come back with Dana Dunbar, we're going to talk about COVID and the end of the COVID finally.
Finally.
And also some other things that kind of change in keeping up with the NCAA, which I'd imagine that book is pretty thick.
Oh, yeah. Always changing.
When we come back on Vocation.